of the smooth operator. Shawty on repeat, I say sleep later. This another favor, consider me your neighbor. Lost a lot of fam in pursuit of the paper. She gon' catch the vapors when we slide by. The way I speak my mind, it's like I peak my prime, but I ain't close. I cruise through the night air, fantasy a dream, real world is a nightmare. Like Claire battling the brainless, learn to live shameless. Talk about me alive, but claim that I'm nameless. You aimless, so I'ma style on them. They washed up, it's a rap, throw the towel on them. Gaining miles on them, otakus for the win. Tacos, it depend on the mood that I'm in. Like Finn when it's time for adventure. This some new blue, get ready to enter my mind for a few. Come and take a ride with the crew. I'ma show you how to recoup days lost when you vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. About time to regroup. Fly, got my eyes on the view. Never hear lies, only truth. Realize why they vibe with the blue. 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 Vibe with the vibe with the sky. Wait, you know the rest. I'm blessed, I see you frontin' like you ain't impressed, but I still get requests. I'm playing Zelda on the GameCube, I quit spamming my music. Don't ever try forcing the links, that's a high rule. The wind waker, Mother Nature on my side too, controlling the elements. Go and check my avatar, I'm arrows ahead. Get the point, moving forward, the battle scars accumulated over time are reminders of what I went through as a mind of a grinder. The trees broke down for this loose leaf. If life's a game of death, I'm Bruce Lee, ooh wee. Lose sleep on the regular, trying to get this word out. Then I crash nebula. Wish I had a very odd parent, maybe two, but it's cool. Everybody pays dues. Now it's time to make moves. Granny didn't raise me to lose. Think I'm in the mood for a cruise. Wanna ride? Come and vibe with the blue. Come 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 vibe with the. Check this out, y'all. I'm back spazzing like the elderly. Worth of my cousin Beverly. Never swear away from the truth. Just ask Heather. Be weather, be tripping. Starting to look control like our destiny. Always give you the best of me until the death of me. My weaponry is a paintbrush. Hush, don't tell my secret. They get a hold of it. If you leak it, get it. It's cool. Got you covered though, look. But let me get back to that cool-ish, loose-ish. Why they still lying? They don't do this. Bad at board games, whole world clueless. Selling they soul for Roof Chris. Who's this honored fella? Need a sliced extra mozzarella. Crew gotta let God be born like they don't trust fun. Why you dodge to tell her? You don't know, but my odds are better. Life's a gamble, depending on who holding the cards. You can start living at large or it's bon voyage. Charge it to the game. Me and you ain't the same. I'm thinking bigger pictures. Why you still shrinking the frame? Ever blink in the rain? It helps when your eyes dry. Mob with the bright minds. Think you funny, wise guy? Midnight marauder with a new tribe. Tired of the fake. Come and vibe with the blue sky. Come vibe with the blue sky. Why do you try? We get them high. Take them high. What I do? Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. Come vibe with the blue. Pass what up? Vibe with the.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
I have seen everything that has ever happened, ever will happen, ever could happen, and yet, what the hell is this? Are you ready?
Give a damn about a hater when I feel like it. Not today, not today, not today, not tomorrow. Get out my way, please, I'm trying to get paid. Not today, not today, not today, not tomorrow. Get out my way, please, I'm trying to get paid.
For 27 years, I ain't gone for 28. What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's your boy.
Say that shit with chest.
Blerd without fear. Got the homie Just Chris Cypher here of Just Chris Cypher.
Look at that.
On YouTube.
Looking nice and simple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what? It's like, yeah, hey, where can I find? Yeah, Just Chris Cypher. It's a thing.
So quick backstory. So back in the day, my Cypher World channel, the original name was Cypher, and how it was spelled, you replace the vowels with numbers. So the I's are 1 and the 3. I mean the E's are 3, right? Simple. The amount of times I had to explain to people like, hey, it's Cypher, just replace the vowels with numbers. And I'm like,
yeah, see, that's too much.
They put a P with a 4. I'm like, bro, I'm switching it. It's Cypher World. Shut up, everybody. I hate everybody. I'm rebranding.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie. It even tripped my ass up a couple of times. It tripped my ass up a couple of times. So I will not. I will not hold
memory unlocked. Core memory unlocked. I remember when we first met on Twitch. I remember you gave me a shout out.
Yeah.
And you like, I think you were trying to rate me or something, and you were like, "Oh, I rated you this and that." And I was like, "Oh, that was a whole different person."
It was a whole. I was like, "Oh man." Well, I tried. But no, shout out to Brian C. Brown out here with the 36th birthday. I didn't have the chat up in time to be able to catch this one, but here I'm actually gonna we're still gonna read this because it's a thing. But it said, "Good evening, everyone. I'm celebrating my 36th birthday today, and I'm happy to report that no Victor Creeds have pulled up on me yet, bruh. Man, you need to, like I said." You gotta watch out, man. They out here.
Yo, but happy birthday. For real.
Yes, happy birthday. God.
Happy birthday. Hope you get everything you ever wanted. Provided it doesn't hurt nobody.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, we gotta put some caveats on that. That said, we are -1 today. Not Godzilla, but we're just actually physically -1. Because Robo had a family emergency come up, so he is not going to join us today. That said,
I don't know.
he's like, how? He's like,
no, I don't know.
But anyway.
Hey, yo, I just thought about this. Like, yo, we should have ran a poll on Discord or something. Like, hey, we're gonna be -1. Who you think is gonna be? And anybody that would say Just Chris Cypher, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm here.
It's like, I got y'all asses.
I'm here. What's up? Say something.
No,
I'm committed, and I was on time. Say something.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little worried at first. I was like, it started getting a little close, and I was like, he ain't here yet.
I saw that.
Well,
I was like, you called me? I'm like, I'm right here, bro.
It's like, I'm here. I'm on the way. I'm right here. The funny thing was, when I sent the message, I immediately got up and walked away from my computer. So I come back and it's like, oh shit.
Because when I logged in, it was just a chair. I'm like, okay, cool. It's not my fault. I'm here.
He's like, I did my due diligence. Oh,
DCG ain't shit. He's like, oh, he's not late. First of all, sir, respectfully.
He's like, whoa. Calm down.
I love DCG. DCG is a close friend of mine, but fuck you.
He's like, you know what? He's like, you the homie, but for real, man, fuck you.
Man, fuck you, man. Text me later.
He's like, hit me up later on Discord.
You still trying to game later? All right, cool.
Bet.
Fortnite at 10.
I mean,
by the way,
you were about to say?
No, I was just about to say, because I've been meaning to ask you guys in chat. Please hop on, because I need some help. Right? What's everybody been playing lately? I mean, not everybody has to chime in at once, but because I'm looking for a new high, right? I just downloaded the finals, that new shooter.
How is that? Everybody's been trying to get me to play that shit, and I don't know.
I haven't tried it yet, right? With shooters, I always have more fun with friends because I don't take it as serious. And maybe before I become addicted and stuff. But I need to know, what's everybody playing these days? You know what I'm saying? Because I know you guys were playing Hunt, and no lie, Hunt has become a little stale for me.
Oh, ooh. Well, yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. I will say, you have missed some very interesting matches. I will say that you've missed some interesting matches. That's all I'm gonna say.
So here's the thing. So lately, these last couple times that I played with you guys, I've literally just played to hang out.
That's fair. Can I be real?
Go ahead.
We knew that.
No, hold on. Hey, plot twist. Plot twist, bro. Plot twist. I actually been playing before that. Like, I was playing Hump by myself.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
I mean, like, I was going to the shooting range, just practicing. I would go in, get a couple of mercs and stuff like that. I remember one time I was trying to saw flex where you're like, yo, why's our MMR so high? This and that, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, I've been doing,
it's like, you boy out here.
But I think because of that, it grew stale for me. You know what I'm saying? And last I played with you guys, I was like, I just want to do it to hang out. But I'm just chasing a new high. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm chasing something, like I'm chasing a new, call it a purpose.
Ooh, a sense of purpose.
A sense of longing in the gaming world. My life is pretty fulfilled right now, but you know what I'm saying.
I will say, I understand this. I understand this on so many levels because I feel like, I think we all kind of reach that moment.
A crescendo?
Yes. I feel like we all do at some point. It's interesting to me because for me, I remember, and for those who know what we're talking about, that's basically what our title is about. We're gonna be talking about this a lot today. It's the fact that everything sucks now, and it's your fault.
1000%.
Well, but here's the thing, though, and I want to make sure I'm clear when I say this. It's my fault too, but I try to do something about it on a daily basis. I try to remind myself these things on a daily basis. So it's not to say that like there's nothing that can be done about it. There can be something done about it. But the truth of the matter is that there's a term I've always thrown around. And it's usually it's typically associated with people who delve into opium back in the day. But it's called chasing the dragon. And it's that vibe that that first time you indulge in something, and I'm not talking about just drugs. I'm talking about like things that you love, like your favorite movies, your favorite TV shows, your favorite comic books, video games, anime, whatever. When you first delve into these things, you get that surge, you get that high where you're like, man, this is so amazing. And then you spend, yeah.
I can't wait for this. Like I want this feeling to last forever.
Yeah, like you want this to stay, but here's the problem. You're going to spend the rest of your time loving that thing, trying to get that high back. And that's the problem. Like, and I will make an argument here that, well, yes, there are some things that, we as a whole, we as nerds, geeks, blerds, so on and so forth, that we have loved that probably have actually gotten worse. Now, I'm not going to lie. There are some things that don't stand the test of time. Like, I'll be the first one to tell anyone. One of my favorite movies when I was a teenager was The Fifth Element. When I go back and try and watch that movie now, it's all right. I mean, it's not to say that it's bad, but I don't love it anywhere near as much, as I used to.
I got an example, not to cut you off, but I got an example of a bad movie that I loved as a child, two actually, that I loved as a child, and I saw them as an adult and completely hated them, right? Mm-hmm. For obvious reasons. First one, Mortal Kombat, the movie in the 90s.
Okay, the OG joint. Okay, yeah,
the OG joint, right? Yeah, I remember seeing it. I still like that one a little bit,
but it has not aged well.
No, yeah, it's just the curse of video game movies, right? The second one was actually one that I was pleasantly surprised. No, not pleasantly surprised. Unfortunately, I wanted to love even as an adult, and I saw it last year. It was Freddy vs. Jason. right?
Okay, it's a good bad movie for me.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I can see it. And here's the thing. This is the reason why this happened. I can see it like doing the full circle of so bad is good type thing. But it didn't happen to me because when I was a child, to me, I loved that movie. Absolutely. And then when I saw it again, like, oh my God, I forgot how it came. I think it was on Prime that it came up and it was like suggesting something. I was like, I need to watch it. I had to, and I did. And the entire time I was like, this is stupid. Why? And then
it's an insufferable movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's an insult. Like, I can say that. Like, I can say that with a straight face. Freddy versus Jason, I still love it. Like it's not like I still love the movie, but I'm not gonna sit here and try and convince you that you're wrong. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here trying to.
No. But actually, no. This is facts. But because I'm gonna tell you right now, this is something that we don't do. That we often beef as like with your nerd homies about when they don't like something that you like or whatever. Is that you need to account like you are a horror movie fan.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can appreciate even the bad one.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For an average movie goer, like for myself, it'll be a hard pill to swallow. That's why when people talk about, like, for example, John Carpenter's The Thing, I think it was a phenomenal movie, right? I've seen some people of the younger generation not liking it. And I'm like, okay, there is some age related, but at the same time, if you're not a fan, a horror movie fan, you can't appreciate even the cheesy lines. I think you were the one who told me that movie has one of the favorite lines.
Yeah. It's the part where they're on the couch and they're doing the blood test. And the guy, like, after like one person's turned to the thing, the dude's body and chest is open up, all this other crazy stuff is going on, and the one dude is just sitting on the couch and he's like, I know you gentlemen have been through a lot, but I would not like to spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch. It's not a good line, but for some reason it makes me laugh. Like, the way it was delivered is just so deadpan that I'm just like, I'll allow it.
Fair enough.
Carry on.
Fair enough. Okay. So here's the thing. So you mentioned a movie that you will. What is one? Okay, I gotta ask, and this might be a head scratcher. What is one movie or piece of entertainment? It could be a comic book series.
Okay.
Or a comic book run, right? Where everybody, objectively speaking, hated it for good reason, but you loved. And that would be a thing that you would love to experience one time with fresh eyes. Maybe not so much to love it, but to be like, why did I? You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like that is a something that has happened to me quite often with things that I initially like loved, and like I want to go back with fresh eyes to see if I'm just falling into the hype of like, or like, why did I? You know what I mean? Like, why did I love it or / hate it? Like, what would be your experience?
Yeah, no, I can definitely say. So okay, here's the thing. It is there's a video game. And I think I've talked to you about this before, so I pardon me if I'm acting like I'm telling you this shit for the first time.
If not, I pretend it was the first time I heard it.
He's like, what?
Get the fuck out,
man!
It's like it's only the only thing you talk about 24/7.
I mean, that's how you know you homies. Like we just like, oh yeah, no, man, yeah, no, you never told me about that. It's like, man, this motherfucker keep talking about this shit. God damn. No, it's a video game called Shadows of the Damned.
With the talking.
Yeah, with the talking shotgun. That who, by the way, the shotgun's name was Johnson. No dick jokes there at all.
By the way, it's 80% dick jokes.
It is 80%.
The gun makes, like, when it gets bigger, look how big it's just bad.
Yeah, no, it just is what it is. But no, I forgot that I didn't change your label up here. I'm gonna do that real quick while I talk. But no,
okay. I'll pretend I'm left face.
It's like, yeah, no, that's totally you.
No, but here's my thing though. Like, real quick, Right.
Mhm.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'm sorry. I'm trying to imitate.
No, you good. Yeah. I was like, no, you're doing good. You're doing good. No,
Thank you.
but no, Shadows of the Dam was a game that like I remember when it came out. Like I didn't really know many people who liked it. It wasn't until later I discovered there were people who liked the game. But like I remember it was so schlocky and so like it knew what it was. Like it knew what it was. Like it wasn't trying to be like higher art. It wasn't trying to pretend that it was going to be like the second coming of the survival horror genre. It knew that it was a beat it in a weekend video game that like remember, well, I remember the Blockbuster game era. Like when you would go to Blockbuster, you'd rent a video game, and it used to be that was a time where like, man, you could rent a game, beat it in like a weekend, and take that bitch back, and you had an amazing experience. That was kind of how I felt about Shadows of the Damned. Is that I felt like it was like even though I didn't rent it, I bought it, but like I was like, oh, dude, I was like, this is so much fun. I'm having so much fun with this game. It's cheeky, it's cheesy. It's dumb, but it's fun. I felt the same way about Lollipop Chainsaw, but granted, that was for somewhat different reasons. But I do kind of wish that like that was something that was
James Gunn. James Gunn directed that game.
He was actually responsible, partially responsible, for that game because I think it was him and Suda51, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, actually, surprisingly good. But anyways, I hate to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, but no. It just the funny thing about, and I know that Lollipop Chainsaw is coming back because like I remember it was supposed to be like a complete and total remake, but I think now it's just gonna be like a remaster or whatever the fuck. But so I'm not as worried about that. But like Shadows of the Dam, I was like, man, I wish we would have gotten more of that. So like I always started like diving more and more into games like it, or even I would dare say I even gave some games a chance that I normally would not have played because I was kind of hoping that, man, maybe this will be like that Shadows of the Damned. And there's even some games that I think from a technical perspective and maybe even from like general public opinion are better than Shadows of the Damned, but I don't like because it ain't Shadows of the Damned. If that makes any sense.
No, that actually makes too much sense. If that makes sense. Because the game being bad, like, okay, that's the rule. Like, Shadow of the Damned is your exception. Like, it's bad, but I enjoyed it, right? And if I can go back and replay with fresh eyes, you know what? Since you brought up video games, I got a comic for you, right? That I absolutely loved it.
Hit me.
And I was actually surprised that a lot of people, actually, I got two. That a lot of people actually disliked, right? The first one that I really enjoyed, right, controversial right off the bat, was Marvel's Ultimate Universe Ultimatum.
Really? Okay, all right.
Granted, when I read it, I was an edgy teenager. Yeah.
Wait. My man said, look, before y'all go all in on my ass just now. Ultimatum's not. I think I liked Ultimatum when I first read it. You couldn't get me to read it now. I could not. I could not.
This is quick backstory, right? This is exactly how I read Ultimatum, and then I've read the Ultimate Universe backwards, if that makes sense, right? Because I started with Ultimatum, and it was because I heard in high school that there's an issue like where Magneto floods in New York, and everybody's dead, and there's a scene where Blob is eating the Wasp, and Yellow Jacket goes and bite his head off, and I'm like, and I was like, yo, comics book is down like that now, and and I ran to my local comic book store, right? This was in 2008, I think it was, right? 2007, 2008. And I remember I bought it, and I was like, this is fucking amazing. And then I've read it backwards, like the Ultimate Universe. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I first got introduced to like Miles Morales. That's how I got first introduced to first of all, the incestuous twins, Quicksilver and Scarlet, and a possible Wolverine being the daddy, and then keeping them while they were getting down. The whole universe was messed up, right? Hulk ripping Wolverine in half and eating one half. And I remember talking about it, getting hype with a bunch of the, some of the comic book homies at the time. Well, I like fast forward into the future. I was already in the military, and they was like, that comic run was atrocious. It was terrible. It was the worst thing that was put on paper. And I was like, but I liked it. You know what I mean? And he's like, what was good about it? I'm like, I don't know, dude. I thought it was just cool how Yellow Jacket just grabbed the blob and bit his head off. You know what I mean? Like, I like that Magneto was a petty bitch. Like,
it's like, why you bully me?
Like, I'm so sorry. Last one.
Why you bully me? Why you bully me?
And the second one that to this day I actually defend, but to my surprise, a lot of people that dislike was Marvel's Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe.
Oh, wow. I forgot. I'm not gonna lie. It's not even so much that I don't remember it. It's the fact that I just don't think about it. Like, it's not a thing that I spend like a lot of time thinking about, if that makes sense. No, I get it. I just like the idea of at the time when I read it, I remember Ultimate Alliance 2 came out, but when I read it, it was like I remember playing Ultimate Alliance 2, and Deadpool was one of my main, like, in my squad, right? And then I remember, like, I've read it, and even now when I reread it, I was like, oh, this is aggressively mid. Right? I'm not gonna lie, that's actually one of my favorite new things to call stuff now.
Oh yeah, aggressively mid.
It's like I'm like, man, this movie is like aggressively it's aggressively okay.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like overwhelmingly mediocre. Like you're top mediocre. Like, yeah. Like if you rank in mid shit, you're top.
Yeah, right. Like you're literally like you're literally peeking, like you're just kind of peeking over, like you're just kind of like, I can't see over the top.
Like
yeah. I will. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, for me though, like, I can't help but feel, like there are some things, and you bringing that up made me think about something I had not even considered, and I saw something someone had put in the chat as well. But the thing that's kind of funny about all this is that, because I saw YTube Noob had brought up, Devil May Cry. 2.
Devil May Cry 2. Yes,
yeah,
I saw
that one specifically. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, that game is kind of the epitome of what you were just talking about to me. Like, it is an aggressively just game. Like, it's just like it ain't nothing special. I think it was probably fun at the time I played it, but if I tried to play it today, I would not be able to finish it. Like, I would probably start it and not get very far and just end up moving on to go do something else.
Can I say a controversial opinion about Devil May Cry, specifically Devil May Cry 2?
Go off, King.
Devil May Cry 2 doesn't deserve nowhere near as much hate as it gets.
I think that's fair. But I do think that Devil May Cry is one of those series that I feel like the odd number games usually end up being the better ones.
No, 1000%.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that people tend to forget about Devil May Cry 2, right? Because a lot of people like to bring out the change of personality of Dante, him being more serious, the game being more gruesome, and then being dumbed down, being more easy, right? Ignoring the fact that the first game was stupid hard to the point that people were complaining they couldn't even get past the first official boss, which was the lava spider. I forgot what's the name.
I don't remember the name of it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, and then when people found Nilo Angelo, they were getting worse. Like, I remember people complaining like so hard how hard the game was, right? With that being said, and then Devil May Cry 2, they changed Dante's personality. People only got that reference because, let's get it, Devil May Cry 1 had very cheesy lines. Yeah, he joked, but his personality wasn't nowhere near as defined as what we know Dante to be today. His personality was really honestly defined wasn't Devil May Cry 3, which was
that was the prequel.
A prequel, chronologically speaking, that's the first game, right? But then Capcom knew what they did with Dante, right? Or let me rephrase, they didn't know exactly, because then they Devil May Cry 4 and they tried to pass the baton to Nero, and that failed.
Oh, that failed spectacularly.
So when you look in retrospect, yes, Devil May Cry 2 Dante, the version of Dante is the odd one out. But we didn't have that reference till post 3. And the reason why 3 got like, it was after the fact that 3 now that we have that, the series is that Dante, like not Dante, Capcom realized this is the Dante we should have been using, because when anytime there's any type of any crossovers that they have, like Marvel vs. Capcom, they use that version of Dante. Anytime he makes a crossover, like in Beautiful Joe, like they use that Dante. Like there's a reason, but we wouldn't have that frame of reference after like the entire series has been laid out the way it has been. Now we can look back at 2 and 2 be like, yeah, this one was garbage.
I mean, this is funny. This is actually from over on the Twitch side of things, even though technically we normally do this sort of thing, but I thought it was cute, so I'm going to answer it anyway. Rough Rider said, was the Ultimate Universe worse than the time Carol gave birth to her baby daddy and her friends were happy about it? Honestly, as a whole, Ultimate Universe tried to be like that. But I think that was worse than Ultimate Universe, if for no other reason than no one, like, we know who's responsible for the Ultimate Universe. We don't really know who's responsible for that Carol Danvers story arc, because no one wants to take credit for it.
Ain't nobody raising their hands on that.
Everybody like, man, who wrote this shit? And everybody like, they doing this, they got their hand, like they holding their hands down like this.
It was AI. It was AI.
Yeah, they're like, nah, man, Ultron wrote that. Nah, man, Ultron wrote that.
That would make sense, bro.
But yeah, I will say that controversial statement. Back to the the Devil May Cry side of things. I really liked DMC Devil May Cry, like, a lot. It was actually the most I had enjoyed a Devil May Cry game in some fucking time. Like, I was like, dude, this is lit. I was like, why are we not enjoying this? Why are we not taking this for what it is?
Hey, can I shameless plug something real quick?
Go ahead, shoot.
So I'm coming up with a series of shorts / TikToks in the gaming side about like how to fix bad games. Mm-hmm. And DMC is actually in my list. And like a quick synopsis, you know how you can fix that game and it'll be a great game? Don't make it a Devil May Cry. This would have been something separate. If this were not been DMC reboot, this game would have fucking took the fuck off. And the reason why I say that is because Devil May Cry fan, okay, Capcom or was it Ninja Theory that made this one?
Ninja Theory made it.
They fucked up because you haven't given us, like, the closest thing you've given us to another Devil May Cry was in Marvel vs. Capcom. And the fans wanted a new Devil May Cry. And you did a reboot. And that reboot made fun of the source material it was rebooting from. You lost a fan. However, that's why people didn't give it a chance. But once you play it, it was amazing. Now, if Ninja Theory were to call this literally anything else, this game we probably would have been talking about this game the same way we talk about Bayonetta versus Devil May Cry. But because it was a DMC, that's why it wasn't good.
I feel like people like took that shit too seriously, because like the thing that they made fun of, if you just kept playing the game, it happened. The thing that he literally made, the white hair. I was like, if you keep playing the game, he gets the white hair. Like, he literally, matter of fact, it doesn't even, you don't even have to play to the end of the game. He starts getting the white hair like damn near in like just left of the middle. Like, he starts getting white.
Halfway point.
Yeah, well, if you start like looking at his hair, like, he gets white patches in his hair gradually over the course of the game until eventually get to the end, he does have the white hair. The whole thing though is that, like, for me, I was like, I don't know, I feel like people took the joke the wrong way. Like, I think people took it as though, yeah, fuck your Devil May Cry, like, but it was like, nah, it's because it's gonna happen anyway. That's kind of the joke.
That's why I feel like that's why you and me gotta disagree when it comes down to like taking something so serious, because I feel like if you try to introduce me to a new take of something that is beloved, and then you make fun of the source, you know what I mean? Like, oh, look at me, I'm better. I take that as a slap in the face, right? As a fan, and here's the thing: at the time, I was a huge Devil May Cry fan, like to the point that I was the like before it was revealed that Virgil was Nero's father. I was like the one theorizing, like, it's Virgil's kid, blah blah blah. Which honestly, I can't see Virgil fucking anybody by himself. So I don't know who.
I mean, that's fair.
I mean,
I mean, I don't know. It's just, it was something for me. I was just kind of like, actually, I laughed at it. I like when the joke came up, I fucking laughed. I thought it was fucking funny, but you know,
I can actually picture you saying that and like,
yeah. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
And if I would have known you back then, you would have texted me like, "Yo, you saw this shit," and I would have been like, "Fuck you."
but the thing is, for me, it was a situation where like I knew the inside baseball on it. I knew that Capcom did not want them like just retreading the same exact ground that that they had already done. So I was like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. If it's its own thing, it's its own thing. But the thing I find funny about it, for like all the hate that game gets, people eat the shit up out of Devil May Cry 5, and it's eaten off the plate of DMC Devil May Cry from a gameplay perspective, because like a lot of the gameplay elements of DMC Devil May Cry that everybody tried to claim was so terrible, it's all over DMC 5, and it's a better game because of it. But I mean, I get why people felt like people felt like they got their shit rocked when that mop hit Dante's head. I mean, that's fair. That's fine. But this kind of gets us more to the core point I wanted to talk about. And this is
your fault.
Yes, it's because we keep, and I'll use this. I'd like to present to the court my documents for this. I would like to present to the court a few public records.
Objection! I was not prepared for this.
he's like, wait a minute. He's like, wait a minute. You didn't enter this into discovery.
Your Honor, these documents were not entered into discovery. First of all, the prosecution was blindsided, and I'm offended. This is a court of law. So, sir, I'm gonna need you. Let's hit the chambers, because I need to.
Well, it's funny to me. So this is the thing I find absolutely positively just like, nutty about this. It's what I like to refer to as the Thanos problem. I remember after I first started really paying attention to the issue of fans chasing the fandom dragon, and it hit, and technically I actually saw it first with Phantom Menace, and I'll get more to that in a minute. But the time that I just really, really paid attention to it.
Oh wait,
was with the
gloss over Phantom. You can't. I'm sorry, I can't let that slide. You can't gloss over Phantom Menace, drop a bomb like that, and then be like, "But I'll get back." Like, nah, bro. Like,
he's like, no, I'm gonna need you to. He's like, no.
I need details on this, because you might sway me. He's like, this is the thing, and I won't watch this shit tonight. I'm gonna let you cook, but remember that.
Okay, no. I promise you, I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna pull right back around, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I remember when I saw Avengers 1 for the first time in theaters. It is a core memory for me. It's something I'll never forget. And I remember sitting in that theater, just, man, the absolute high of seeing all of my favorite characters from Marvel Comics on the big screen all at once, the camera wrapping around them, and oh my god, like Hawkeye's pulling the bow out, Cap's holding up the shield, Black Widow, she's like clacking on the gun, and Hulk's like the Horseman. Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
This is awesome. For the shorts, I love this.
I was like, dude, this is like, that's peak Avengers right there. You're like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, how do you top this? And then and then this right here fucked up everyone for the next almost 10 years. And that's just this one shot. And ever since we saw this shot, it was the beginning of the end. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's because all of it, the culmination of this, the culmination of all these things, it all can pinpoint back to this, because after Avengers 1, this was something no one expected. No one, and I'm gonna tell you right now, anyone who says otherwise is lying their ass off. Anyone who sat in that theater expecting Thanos to actually show up in the first movie, even though it was just a post-credit stinger, no one saw that shit coming. to the point that it made people curious. People who were fans, they were excited. Yeah, no, people who were fans, they knew, but people who were like the casuals, they wanted to know more. It caused this whole culture of deep diving into shit that has honestly, I feel, kind of ruined a lot of fandoms for a lot of people, because like they want something to match their headcanon. But going from there, you have this journey that spans 10 years to get to this epic moment. And I'm just going to tell you right now, you're not going to hear any sound from this. So anybody who wonders, it's not going to be a thing. I'm just playing the clip just to make a point. But the adrenaline level, the level of endorphins everyone got when they went to go see Infinity War as well. But when people went to go see Endgame, something happened and it ruined the MCU for everyone going forward. And I'm not saying that the scene itself ruined it, but what I'm saying is that people ruined the MCU for themselves going forward, because this set a standard in people's heads. I don't know why it did, but this set a standard in people's heads that they've never been able to get back. And it's this shit right here. This shit right here. I remember being in the theater. Everybody's fucking freaking out. Everybody's like, oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, Black Panther just showed up. Oh my God. Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy and Howard the Duck and Spider-Man. Everybody's here. Oh my God. He said the thing. He said Avengers. Oh my God. Oh my, look at it. This is like watching some goddamn WWE shit. Like, oh my God, Ant-Man, he's running. He just ran into the ring. Oh my God, Thanos, he just grabbed the tables. Oh my Lord, business is about to pick up. Oh, it's a slobber knocker. Oh my God, look at it. Look at it. Undertaker just slid into the ring. Oh my God. What? Boom, 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 boom. Oh my God, Stone Cold just showed him. It's Stone Cold. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. Like, that is this.
I need to watch a movie with you. I need to go to a theater with you.
Well, but here's the thing. It's this is what's so sad about this to me. It's the fact that that scene is amazing.
Facts.
It's fantastic. It is a fantastic scene. Now, that said, I would be willing to say, I would be willing to gamble that there are people who saw that scene, got really hype, saw it for what it was, and didn't think anything else of it, beyond the fact that it was just, this is a really cool, amazing thing, a once-in-a-lifetime thing that you would probably never see again, ever in life, except for maybe another 10 years from now, and that it was so amazing, and man, what a time to be alive. But there were people out there who legitimately were like, oh, this ain't Endgame. Like, every Marvel movie that came out, everyone compared it to Endgame. And I've said this before, but it's something that I feel bears repeating. People kept chasing the Endgame dragon. Everybody expected Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings to have like some Avengers Endgame level shit. People were expecting, I don't really think anybody actually expected this from Eternals, but you know how people are.
But Quantumania had like failed before it was coming out, because people acting that this was gonna be the movie.
People built it up to the point where they tried to make it seem like, oh, this is like an Avengers, like, I guess technically would be like a, what was it, a 3.5 technical, or because I know technically you got four Avengers films. This is like this was supposed to be like an Avengers 4.5, like
Civil War.
Civil War. Yeah, Civil War was like a 2.5, more or less. But yeah, people went into this thinking like, oh my God, this is going to be the end all be all. And this is also going to be how all Marvel movies are going to be going forward. And I'm sorry, but they're not. It's just not going to happen. It's not tenable. That is a once in a lifetime thing. Honestly, I think the only way you could even see this, a scene this magnitude repeated is maybe in an Avengers Secret Wars or Kang Dynasty. Maybe you might get something kind of similar, in that regard, and maybe on a bigger and more grandiose scale. But the fact that people were expecting like Wakanda Forever to have scenes in it, like in game, people
comparable to that.
Yeah.
I think but people, okay, so people assert to memory are like always like it never fails to show up when it's inconvenient, right? Because if we compare Endgame to the first Avenger, right, and then we try to remember the high that both of those movies got, but similar, because I remember seeing like you mentioned earlier, right? I remember seeing Avengers and thinking to myself, how can nothing can top this, right? I remember seeing that movie and thinking nothing can top this, nothing can possibly compare to this, no other movie. Then Endgame came out, not even Endgame, Infinity War. I don't even go as far, and I'm like, bro, how the fuck is Endgame gonna top this? So the fact of the matter is, like, people forget like the phases of how shit happens, how shit went down, and I'm like, bro, just remember how you felt, like everything that culminated into this.
Yeah,
you can't replicating those feelings of something you already experienced. It's not impossible. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
So. I don't. Okay, so real quick, since you brought up the event, that Marvel phase, I think for me, the moment that like I literally screamed on the theater, like the first time ever, I like screaming excitement in the theater was. And here's the thing: for the life of me, I can't remember which Marvel movie this was. I just remember the end credit scene where Agent Coulson is on the phone with Nick Fury. He goes like, "Yes, sir, we found it." And the camera pans, and you see Thor's hammer. Lightning in the desert. I remember I lost my shit. My homies were like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, yo, that's Thor. They're like, who's Thor? And I'm like, the god of fucking thunder, yo. And that was that moment for me, like at least the first one that I can recall that I was like, oh, they cooking in this. They making some shit happen.
And I do agree with Woke AF. Here's the truth, kids. Kang in the comics sucks beyond most villains have a right to suck, and that is actually true. I actually challenge most people to tell me like some of, like, I mean, I know Kang has done some pretty cool stuff in the comics, but let's be real, he didn't get cool in the comics until very recently. Let's just keep it a buck. Also, for those that say that, it's bad, I saw A World said that, I couldn't disagree anymore with you, Blerd. What ruined the MCU after Endgame is terrible writing and stories. Well, no,
I love the voice. I love the voice. Well, actually,
no. I mean, I'm gonna disagree in return with you, because let's not sit here and pretend like there weren't bad movies, or quotey fingers bad movies in the MCU before any of the stuff that's out now. World. Thor: The Dark World, Iron Man 2. I would even go as far as I would say the first Thor movie is only marginally okay. I've only really grown to love the first Captain America movie just with the passage of time. Like it's something that like I didn't really like as much. Like I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like my favorite movie at first, but it became a favorite movie of mine because I started realizing I really liked, even though I think it's a flawed movie, it's.
Bro, like, come on, let's not forget that people were genuinely surprised that fucking Winter Soldier was good.
Oh yeah, no, 100%, 100%.
Like, if you say that you knew that Winter Soldier was gonna be good, fuck off. Because let's get this out the way.
I had no idea.
Like, when I came out, I was like, yo, that movie was a fucking banger. People were like, Captain America though. I'm like, bro, first of all, it's Captain Puerto Rico now. Look at Captain Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Oh no, Captain America is always gonna be Captain Puerto Rico to me. I'm sorry. The flag, just the way his suit is, it's like that's literally the Puerto Rican flag. Don't
literally recast him.
I just want to point out all the folks that were mad about the flag that was in Miles's room in Spider-Man 2 ain't said shit about the flag that's on Captain America's body. But yeah, whatever. they ain't even noticed the fact that ain't the American flag on his body.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like when people talk about like, oh, the MCU hasn't been the same. Like, bro, let's not forget.
Yeah.
All the shit we had to go through to get where we are now. So I don't know.
Well, and not every movie is going to be like, and I will say this, every single fucking time. Even MCU movies that aren't, quotey fingers good by MCU standards, even those are typically better than most other things I would normally watch. So, I mean, it's like by comparison of like, if I watched let's say Paramount put out like a new movie and it was bad, it would still, but like, and let's say that by MCU standards, Marvel put out a movie that was equally, quoting fingers, as bad in comparison, but compared to the overall body of work and everything that they usually put into these things, that usually just doesn't happen, because even when the movies are just like honestly, I've only really not liked, like, and I mean, when I say not liked, I'm talking about like, I will never watch this again, movie. And that's Iron Man 3. Like, Iron Man 3 is fucking abysmal to me. Like, I call it, yeah.
Regular man.
Regular Man 3, that's what it is. Regular Man 3, the quest for more regularly. It's terrible. And like, that's why when people are like, man, like, don't get me wrong, I don't think Thor: Love and Thunder is like the pinnacle of the MCU or nothing. But when people were, shitting on Thor: Love and Thunder, I was like, y'all acting like Iron Man 2 never happened. Y'all act like Iron Man 3 never happened. Like, I was like, y'all do realize Iron Man has one good movie. Like, one legitimately good movie. And he has like maybe half of another one, and then the other one's just like, yeah, no. Thor has like maybe 1.5 good movies out of 4. Let's just be real. And I think Ant-Man.
Which, by the way, is Ragnarok. Just in case people are wondering. Which, by the way, is Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I know people are like, yeah, the first one was a classic. Fuck off. No, it was Ragnarok.
Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. But no, and the thing is, like, I remember when Black Widow came out, everybody's like, man, this movie has no stakes. Because we already know she's gonna die, like in Infinity War. It's too little, too late. Blah 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 blah. But here's the thing. Were y'all saying that shit when Captain America, the first Avenger, came out? It's like, we know this motherfucker ain't gonna die. We know he's gonna fall in the ice and wind up on the Avengers, so there's no stakes. So now what? Now what do you have to say?
Also, can I say this? For non-comic book fans, we didn't even know what the fuck that cube was.
There you go.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was just a mythical MacGuffin, right? Nobody knew that this thing was playing such a major role. You know what I mean? Like the Infinity War.
Like going forward. You're like, no one knew that shit.
Nobody knew that shit. Hell, the scepter. I'm gonna tell you right now. The only, like, me, and I'm a casual comic book fan. I will admit that. Even I was more into it back then. Not so much right now. But even then, it's not until fucking in Age of Ultron when old boy snapped the scepter and put the Mind Stone into Vision. I'm like, wait a minute. And that's when I was like, holy shit. Then I was like, oh, this is what's going on, right? But I will bet money that if you were a casual, not even a comic book fan, like just a MCU fan, you had no idea of the stakes when these MacGuffins were being introduced. Why would you think that Loki's staff was that important? It's Loki. Got a mission. He has a staff that control, mind control people.
Yeah, it's glorious purpose, man. Glorious purpose. I mean, I'll throw you one better.
To you, but I'm just saying.
Oh, no. But for me, like I said, I guess because I'm old enough to remember when Marvel movies, and I'm not saying like talking about MCU movies, I'm talking about just superhero movies in general. I remember when the stuff we used to get was so bad that it was laughable. Case in point, Punisher 1989, Punisher in name only, which, mind you, that skull not on his fucking jacket in the movie. He doesn't wear a skull on his body the entire fucking film. Not one like he does in the comics, at least.
Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, the Roger Corman. Yeah, the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie that people love to pretend does not fucking exist. Yeah, it fucking exists. God damn it. That was real. That actually happened.
The butchering of Galactus and Silver Surfer should be studied.
Oh, and I'll throw you know what? I'll give you another one. Actually, because it's funny when you said Fantastic Four, I wasn't even thinking about those second ones. That second crop. But no, I will throw you one even better here. And I'm almost positive I got. Yep, I sure fuck do. This motherfucker right here. Don't sit here and tell me that it was always that that there weren't. Like, we're judging on these standards. Like, I mean, I know people might want to try and say, oh, that's grading on a curve. But no. The thing is, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like there weren't worse superhero movies that came out before the MCU, whether past or present, whatever. I I would even go as far as to say that, hell, I can take you back even a step further. This is now technically this movie never came out, but this was a She-Hulk movie they tried to make.
I was gonna say, is that Polaris?
Yeah, right. That is Bridget Nielsen as She-Hulk. Made no fucking sense whatsoever. It was and I'm glad that it never got like fully made, but like that was what they tried to do. Hell, this was the best Daredevil we could have ever hoped to have gotten for a time. Yes, the Man in Black is Daredevil. That is a whole ass Daredevil right there. Like, yeah, anyway, granted, I knock on this one because technically it's supposed to be like the early like Daredevil year one suit, which, I mean, to be fair, I mean, this is probably better than what it had a right to be, but still, it's like, these are the things, like, these are the things that like we used to get. Now, I said earlier I was going to run it back to the Phantom Menace.
I was just about to remind you, like,
no. I didn't forget. So I remember when the Phantom Menace came out, I was super hyped for it. I was super hyped to go see this movie. I was so excited. And then, and I think a lot of other people were too, because it'd be like the first Star Wars movies in years. And then we finally got to it. I'm not going to lie. When I first saw it, I mean, I was still kind of young. I think I was like in my like mid-teens, give or take. So, I mean, my opinions were kind of all over the place with it. Like, there were parts I liked more than others. I didn't necessarily hate the movie so much, but it was definitely a movie that, like, the more I thought about it, the less I liked it. To the point where it just kind of became a thing, like, if I ever did watch it, I only watched it for Duel of the Fates. Literally the scene that I'm showing right here. And then I would cut it off and move on to something else. But
let's use force speed and never again.
Yeah. Yeah, don't... Yeah, about that. Yeah, no, we don't talk about that. But going back to that though, like the thing I had to remind myself of though, because I remember people were like, "Oh, this is so stupid. They made this shit for kids," and that was when something clicked in my head. That's what the original Star Wars was for.
Yeah, it's a kids movie.
It's a kids movie. So the fact that Phantom Menace is like kind of angling towards children, it makes sense. And sometimes you have to step outside of yourself and realize maybe you're not the target audience for something.
But that was me in Pokemon.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like I've aged. I honestly believe I finally aged out of Pokemon because I tried to play the last one. I did finish it, but I just didn't give a fuck. When it was over, I couldn't tell you what the plot of it was. I just knew that I had 8 badges and I beat the Elite Four. That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you what the story was.
That actually brings up a really good point, right? Because I need to ask this question. This different version of the question I asked earlier, right? And you don't have to answer right now, but I do want an answer eventually. Chat, you too. Do you think if you go to an IP that you used to love with fresh eyes in hopes to love it again because of your adult eyes and your adult reasoning, if that's applicable, will you still love it?
Oh man,
you don't have to answer that. You can put that in your back pocket, but I do want an answer. But
I can answer it. I can answer it. It's there are some things that like I've tried to go back. Like the other day, what was it? Last week I think we were talking about the cartoon Cops.
Yeah,
we were talking about cops fighting crime in a future time. Like I actually and I think I want to say I mentioned it on the show that we were talking about it. But just in case, I will bring it back up again. I want to make something clear. I've watched Cops.
Let me be clear.
Since not necessarily, but like after the show, but I've watched it before I even brought it up on the show. And I gotta admit, that cartoon's trash. It is smooth trash. It's not good. It did not age well. It is propaganda of the highest order, and I would tell anyone who wants to hear that. I still love it. I still I still enjoy it. I still get fun out of it. I get that nostalgia kick out of it. But like, am I watching something that is still like legitimately good? No, not really. It's not something that I feel stands the test of time. It's cute, it's cool, and honestly, it's one of those IPs that if someone came along one day and was like, you know what I want to do? I want to take Cops and give it like a modern reboot. I would be all for it because I'd be like, now's the time. Do something different with it. And honestly, I feel like there could be something there. There could be something there for that. Going back and looking at some of the games and the TV shows and things like that I've loved over the years. That like I talk about while we're talking about propaganda. I was actually talking about, to Elite X1 about this in the Discord one day. That I used to love the show The Shield. I can't watch that show anymore because it's hard to watch. Just knowing that not to say I never knew we had bad cops, but just the fact that like I'm like, man, this is propaganda. Yeah. It's especially considering how it ends, and it's so realistic in the sense that nothing happens. I mean, these shows have been off the air for a while, so if you haven't seen The Shield, God help you. But Vic Mackey doesn't suffer any real consequences for being a terrible human being and a fucking shit-ass police officer who was corrupt as all get out. He doesn't suffer any consequences. He gets away scot-free. Now, is he happy? No. But that's the point. Yeah, he suffers a consequence, but it's not one that matters. It matters to him, but it doesn't matter to anybody else.
The equivalent of slap of the wrist, right?
Yeah, he got a slap on the wrist and was told to go stand in the corner for 15 minutes. That was the extent of his punishment. Whereas
15 minutes, and it was told you could leave at 5.
Right?
Let's get that out the way.
Like and meanwhile, other people had died as a result of his actions. There are people who lost their lives as a result of direct things that he had done, and yet he gets to walk away squeaky clean. No real serious repercussions that matter. So yeah, no, that's why I can't do that one. But yeah, I feel like of everything that the totality of all the stuff that and getting back more to the Phantom Menace side of it, and the reason why I feel the way I do about that one is it's a kids movie. It's a kids movie. So if you're mad that they're pandering to kids, I mean, it was probably safe to say you were a kid when you saw Star Wars, and that's probably why you liked it half as much as you did. And it's not to say that as a grown adult you can't like Star Wars now, but don't sit here. You know what it is? It's the equivalent of someone being in a casino and suddenly standing up and saying, "What do you mean there's gambling in this establishment?" Like, it's like, why are you acting surprised?
I bet no. For example, is no, because the gambling is suspected, but like no. If you would have said alcohol, then you could sell it, because if you like, what do you mean there's alcohol in this establishment? Like, bro, look where you at.
Look where you are. Look, if you go to a titty bar and there's titties and you walk like, I'm offended, that's on you.
I'm a Christian man. These young ladies deserve better. I'm like, there's a cover charge, right?
Right. If I walk into a kids movie expecting it to be a movie aimed at adults, I would be the fool for going in there thinking that.
I'll say this much though. I'll say this much, and I'm gonna be very careful with my words, and feel free to interrupt me at any point.
Mm-hmm.
If the Star Wars fandom wasn't as toxic as it is, here's what I would play devil's advocate. I can see the frustration because that prequel trilogy follows a story that people in the 70s grew up with, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can see the frustration if the fans, this should have grown up with the fans, at least the source, at least the source content or the depiction of the material. I can see that frustration. However, I also know how toxic the Star Wars fans can be, and the lack of satisfaction when it comes down to whatever Star Wars product is presented, right? And that's why it's hard for me to make an argument, because at the same time, somebody can turn around and like, yeah, but I also wanted my kids to get the same feeling I got when I went to the theaters and saw my first lightsaber. You know what I'm saying? So I can see both sides. That's why I say the guy played devil's advocate. Why I wouldn't do that in a public forum, even though I'm doing it now, but it's because the Star Wars fans you guys suck. I'm just gonna call it for what it is, and I'm generalizing. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Ernie, you're my homie. You fan, but let's be real.
Nah, you're right.
Your people's ain't they hate Star Wars.
No. Oh no. Like I said last week, no one hates Star Wars like Star Wars fans. Okay.
Let's put that in a t-shirt.
Yeah, no, it is like people. Man, the goofy shit that's in Star Wars that I've seen people get angry about, like when Ahsoka came out, there were so many people who were angry because they were introducing all this other stuff. And it was not even stuff that was brand new to the series. It was stuff that was kind of just brand new to people who had never watched anything outside of the original movies. Like there being like fucking zombies and shit. What was it when they had the zombie stormtroopers and the Night Sisters were using necromancy to basically animate these corpses and shit. And everyone's like,
these are the people that love Jedi, not Survivor, Fallen Order. And
yeah,
there was a whole level that all you fight is zombies.
That's it. Under the same circumstances, mind you. It's like, well, the thing is, it was all stuff that had been in Star Wars since even before that. But it's just, you know, here's the thing. I feel like a lot of times people just want to be mad.
Facts.
They just want to be mad. And you know what? I'm fine with that. If you want to be mad, be mad. I don't have the energy for it. Not to be artificially mad. I just can't. But even what was it? You go over to like the Mandalorian. You know, people were mad about the Mandalorian. They loved it at first, but then like, but second season's not as good as the first. Third season's not as good as the first. Yeah, well, and here's the thing with it too. It's like people got mad because the main character wasn't the focus of the show anymore. Like, which to be fair, he wasn't even really the focus of the first season. It just didn't seem that way because you actually spent some time getting to know him. But the thing is, Din Djarin is not that deep of a character. That's why they kept bringing in more people to be around him, because those people are all infinitely more interesting than him. Like, just by like, he's an interesting character, but I mean, we know his story. His story is about as deep as a wading pool. Like, you know, okay. All right. What else are we going to do with him?
Before we forget, and this is applicable. Tubes over here sending a $5 super chat, and there's something that I want to address. While we're comparing this, you know what I mean? Let's see if we can pull it up. But he's talking about Static Shock being in one of those shows that age gracefully, right? Age like wine. Yeah.
I
always, and I want to highlight this, right? Because this is what I talk about, balance of like quality, right? And how studios hate their IPs, and fans end up hating the shit they love the most, right? He says, Alves refers to Static Shock product of his time that was also ahead of his time. I've watched that whole series like 15 times and still love it. Excuse me. Cool, right? I'm gonna throw in Batman Beyond in that mix, right? Because Batman Beyond to me is the only spiritual successor of the Batman animated series, right? Here's a problem with those IPs, right? And a lot of us are too young to remember like the discourse that was going on these two things. People were fucking hating dumb shit back then too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They hated the fact that Bruce Wayne retired the way he did. They hated Terry McGinnis, right?
Yeah.
They hated the fact that Static and Richie had that type of friendship, and then the racist, like the talk of racism in actual real life situation. And this is a perfect example of something that is great, awesome, beloved, that could be appreciated by both adults and kids, have teachable moments, and yet people, I remember back in the day, people fucking hated these shows, and but like so much so that don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that's why Batman Beyond got canceled, because they ended unceremoniously with the crossover episode with Z, that android that had his separate show, right? I think it was his name was Zeke, all right. But the show ended unceremoniously. They had to give that show an end in the Justice League Unlimited series, right? But it's because people were bitching so hard about Terry McGinnis, and people were bitching about that show got canceled too, about Saturday Show, because it was too real. And it's one of those things it like people are never gonna be satisfied, right? No. And then the thing is that I like when a vocal minority becomes the loud, we get great shows, great movies, great games. They get unceremoniously canceled, whatever, right? And all you only have yourself to blame, because when a lot of us, and that's why I hate the term cult classic, because we go back and rewatch it like, yo, this shit was actually kind of good. You brought DMC, right? Was a good game, but nobody gave it a chance because their own biases. Like now people retroactively go back to it, and that's what I'm saying. Actually, perfect circle to the title. Yo, everything sucks because you suck. And
here's the thing. It's fair because this is why I said that, like, I try to be better at the beginning, is because I have caught myself being that guy you're talking about. Like not wanting to give something a chance, like seeing something like whatever.
I have a perfect example. I'm gonna let you finish though.
Oh yeah, and here I can give you one as well. I always remember these are some of my favorite things on earth, and maybe this feeling may not age well considering this person has become a pariah in polite society, but I remember being incredibly fucking dismissive of the show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I thought Buffy the Vampire Slayer was one of the dumbest ideas. I was like, dude, like I was that guy. I was that guy who, when the show came out, and it was all the rage. Everybody was talking about it. It was the hotness. It was
time, by the way. Ahead of his time, by the way. Fuck that.
Oh yeah, no, definitely ahead of his time. But like, I remember going to this show, seeing this show, and be like, man, this is so fucking dumb. Oh my god, I can't believe y'all like this dumbass shit. Fucking, oh my god, dude, it's just so. Dude, this is garbage. I was like, who is really enjoying this? And you know what? It was, and granted, I blame my ex-wife for my eventually liking the show. Because one day, because she had all 7 seasons on DVD. This shows you how long ago that I got into this. Because I noticed I didn't say Blu-ray.
By the way, okay. Before you continue, I low-key miss the box DVD sets of things.
You know what?
Like the stacks, I low-key miss them.
I'm not so okay. So full disclosure. I recently kind of got into the habit of buying physical media again, and I think we talked about this the other week.
Yeah, we did. We spoke about it a couple times. Digital versus yeah.
But I now have this on Blu-ray now. And
we were neighbors, so I'll be borrowing it.
Yeah. Like, here, man, can you go ahead and mail that over to me? Go ahead and ship that out. But no, for those who know, this is it's Michiko and Hachin. This is probably, I think, the only anime I think I've ever seen that actually like tells a story about our Latin brothers and sisters down there in South America. It's actually really good, pretty awesome show. But yeah, I remember sitting there talking so much shit, and she was like, you know what? She was like, you never gave the show a chance. I'm tired of hearing you talk shit. So either watch some of it and then be able to judge, or you not watch any of it and just shut the fuck up from here on out. And I was like, fair. I watched it. I think so. What we did now, I will be honest with you. We did not watch the first season. Because even she knew the first season is awful. But she started me with the first episode of the second season. And while I thought that was an odd practice, once I started that first episode of the second season, I was hooked.
Binged.
I was hooked. I binged the rest of it. And it wasn't until I finished the remaining seasons that I went back to the first season. And I was kind of like, you know what? Had I only watched this, I would still be this, like at this point in my life today, saying that show sucks. If that was the only thing I watched, was just like something from that first season. Cause like, I'm not gonna lie, first season, it's wild trash. Like there's some good parts in it, but like for the most part, the show hasn't found its voice until you get to the second season. But yeah.
Which most, well, let's be real. With most things, like especially shows of like that source material, they don't really hit the stride until season 2 season. No, you actually gave me 2 examples now that I just remember. The first one, I'm gonna give you the funnier one, right? Where I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna hold myself by admitting this out loud for a second time in my lifetime. But back when I used to live in Hawaii, right? My sister came to visit, and my sister's the middle child, but she acts like the oldest, and she bullies us, right? And it was me and my brother living together, right? And she easily takes over. So she came and I came home and she was watching TV, and she goes like, "Bro, come sit and watch something with me." And I look at the TV, and she goes like, I was like, "Hell no, I'm not watching that shit. That's it was Vampire Diaries, right?" And she's like, "Yo, shut up and watch." I'm like, "I'm not watching that garbage. Get that shit on my TV. Fuck that. I'm not about it. Gang, gang, right?" And then she goes like, "Oh, well, I'm watching it. And if you want to spend time with me, that's what you're gonna do." So I sat down and watched it. So I binged the whole fucking thing.
Real talk. Same. I was in that same boat. Like I was one of those motherfuckers that was like, "Man, Vampire Diaries." I was like, "Man, what's this Twilight? Man, what's this Twilight looking bullshit?" I was like, "Man, get this shit off my motherfucking TV." And then next thing you know, like 10 episodes later, like 10 episodes later, I'm like, "Man,
Klaus is a savage."
I was like, "Dude, man, that dude, he is out. He is out here, man. God damn." Like, no, I love the show. Like, I love the show now. Like, I became like, you know what? I'll throw you. Speaking of shows of that ilk, I fell into the same boat with Teen Wolf. I ended up falling in love with Teen Wolf same way, and I was like, man, I talked a lot of shit.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, here's the thing. I became such a Vampire Diaries addict when they dropped the spin of the original. I ate that shit up. And that's what, and like my whole thing with it, like, and it's crazy, right? Because of my own biases, like I missed out on potentially. By the way, those 2 shows have, in my opinion, one of the better series ending on ever, in my opinion, right? For those who watch it, cool. If not, it's honestly like I've never felt so satisfied after watching a series finale up to that point since Breaking Bad.
Oh,
right?
man,
and,
dude.
You know what I'm saying? And for both shows, there was a level of consistency there. But granted, and because of my own biases, I remember thinking to myself, "I'm not gonna watch it." The original example I was gonna bring up, and I wish GCG was still in the chat, right? Or if he is, shout out, right? Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. I remember when that game came out. I was a huge Zelda head. I remember when Nintendo dropped the tech demo for like, it was like Link versus Ganondorf, like this, like with the power of the GameCube, it was gonna look like, and I'm like, cool. And then they dropped this trailer, and I saw this Link, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Why? We went from Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and we're doing this, and this
Twilight Princess, because Twilight Princess came out
after this one.
Oh, it came, wait.
Yeah,
shit, it did. Okay, yeah.
It was after this one, right?
Okay.
Twilight Princess that had that weird, was in the weird transition between the GameCube to the.
That's right. That's right.
So you could get it for both, right? But anyways, I remember the Wind Waker, and you brought Blockbuster up, and I remember I went. My mom said like, "Yo, you know what? Fuck it, you've been doing. Let's go to Blockbuster. You can pick up a game or some shit like that, right?" And I'm like, "Cool." And I saw everything I wanted was not there, and I was like. And some dude just so happened to return like Wind Waker. It's like, "Hey man, like, the Wind Waker." And I'm like, I'm not gonna play that shit. Like look what they did to my boy. And I played it. To this day, I think it's one of the best Zelda games out. Full stop.
Look.
And Majora's Mask is my all-time favorite for multiple reasons. But if you like and here's the thing, this was synonymous. So many, I think this game commercially failed. If I'm not mistaken, maybe don't quote me. But I remember so many fans were mad, and then collectively went back and be like, "Give this shit a chance."
Oh yeah. Well, because it turned out to be better than what a lot of people, I think, they expected it to be. Because even for myself, I was kind of the same way. I was like, I don't know about this. And then like I played it, like I broke down and played it. And and also at the time I needed something to play on GameCube anyway, because I was like, I ain't playing shit else on the GameCube. I mean, like, so I mean, I can only play Eternal Darkness, I think was on GameCube. Yeah, I can only play this so many times. I can only boot this bitch up to play Eternal Darkness so many times that eventually I was like, yeah, sure. But no, I feel like, and I'll give you, here's my thing with the whole sometimes the people who create the things that we love, sometimes they do legitimately fall the fuck off. Like, let's be real. Sometimes the people that we like, if we want to, Gears of fucking War. Gears of fucking War. Classic example. I would even go as far as to say, if you go into if we keep it video games, Bethesda got worse to me.
I wish Robo was here.
Right. Look, because I sure had this queued up. Look.
You said my best. I was like, I miss my friend.
But no, like Bethesda, they fell off. And I'm not even talking about like, I mean, I'm using Starfield because it's a recent example, but like I would go as far back as Fallout 4. Fallout, and I want to make sure I'm clear when I say this. I'm not saying Fallout 4 is a bad game. I'm just saying I thought Fallout 4 wasn't as interesting as the game that came before it either.
I was just gonna say, like, if you are a Bethesda fan and you don't admit that Fallout did not peak at New Vegas, then you need to reconsider your whole. If you don't think, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because I'm not a Fallout. I was like, I never liked those type of games. And I remember a friend of mine let me hold, back in the 360 days, New Vegas. And for me, who was not a Fallout fan, I was like, this shit is actually fucking fire. Yeah.
New Vegas was it.
New Vegas was the Fallout game, to get people into Fallout.
Yeah. And that's kind of like, well, I mean, that's kind of where I get back to the whole chasing the dragon thing too. Cause like, I remember playing Fallout 3. I liked Fallout 3 a lot. But it wasn't like my favorite game in the world. When I got to New Vegas I fell in love with immediately. Like it was off rip. There was no question. Fallout 4, when it dropped, like I liked it, but like it was one of those deals where I didn't give a shit about the plot. Like I didn't care about the main story. New Vegas actually gave a shit about the entire story. But like, and with 3, I was at the least curious about the main story. Fallout 4, I could not give a flying fuck about the fact them folks stole that baby at the beginning of the game. Matter of fact, I remember the only reason I found out, what happened to the baby after the fact is because I accidentally stumbled into the main quest area. Like I accidentally stumbled into it. I wasn't actively looking for it. I was just walking around doing shit. I was, instead of looking for my baby, I was trying to figure out how to become the king of the wasteland.
Not only that, though, you stumbled to that ending so unceremoniously. Like he has to say, like, "Hey, man, you're about to hit the end." I'm like, "Oh, what? Already?"
I was like, "Oh,
okay."
I'm not gonna lie. I actually say, you know what? Fuck this. I turned around and went into what was the fucking name of that place where all the rads were up like stupid high? It was like
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was like a place like you couldn't really see shit. Yeah, I was like, I said this is more interesting than what's going on over there. Like a wasteland where I'm not even really supposed to be hanging out is more interesting to me than this. But yeah, but once again, I proudly admit that a part of the failure of Fallout 4 in my eyes was me chasing the dragon, trying to reach that New Vegas high. But the thing is, let's not sit here and pretend that like after Fallout 4, which once again, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but then you get Fallout 76, and then we get to Starfield, and it's like, man. But there's
makes you worry about that Elder Scrolls 6. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right? No, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it.
But here's the thing. Okay, but look, Jason Davis brought up a perfect example, like a more clear example of chasing the dragon.
Oh.
Telltale's The Walking Dead series. The first one fucked me up. The first one was a masterclass in storytelling, and was what made me a fan of Telltale games.
Thank you, Bird Nerd. Thank you, Bird Nerd.
Was trash. What's up? Oh, what I missed?
They said the glowing sea. Thank you.
Oh, the glowing. Gotcha. Yes. That's what it was. I was gonna say the Telltale. I was like, oh shit, what I missed? We dropping knowledge? Nah, but the first episode was immaculate. Like I said, masterclass in storytelling.
Yes.
Every episode after that, hot garbage.
Oh no, 100%, 100%.
And I love Clementine, but I was like, did not capture that chemistry between Clementine and Lee. Like it just did not exist.
I mean,
and I was like,
I liked the second season okay.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying no. I liked the second season okay, but after that, I didn't give a shit anymore.
That's what I'm saying. I misspoke. Well, I was gonna say the chemistry between Clementine and Lee could not be replicated after.
Oh yeah, no, it could not.
It couldn't. And then, with that being said, though, actually, you know what? Well, by the way, just to clarify, I'm talking about the Walking Dead series. I say this: the Batman Telltale series, both season 1 and 2, hands down, one of the best Jokers ever.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so.
Well, and mind you, at the end of the first one, I was like, this Joker looks like it sucks. Like at the end of like the reveal at the bar, and like John Doe, like whatever. And then by the second, I was like, bro, make this into a actual movie.
I was like, dude, it was good.
Money.
It was good. Yeah. Actually, some people might call this sacrilege, but I think the last good game Telltale made, in my eyes, was Tales from the Borderlands. Because like I actually kind of came out of that one, like I was a huge fan of the Borderlands, just the standard series Borderlands. But I'm not gonna lie, I haven't enjoyed a Borderlands game since Tales from the Borderlands. Because I was like, dude, I said maybe this is how y'all should make your games from here on out, considering how much of a narrative y'all try to have in these games. Because I was like, this game did a way better job of explaining the Borderlands universe than either of the previous 3 Borderlands games at that point. Because I think it was Borderlands 1, 2, and the pre-sequel that I think had come out by that point.
No. You know what's crazy though? It's great. You actually motivated me to play the Telltale's Borderlands, because I don't like looter shooters, and people always talk about how great Borderlands is. And I remember seeing a couple clips on, for like the comedy. It was my type of comedy.
I will say the second one, not as good.
That's fine.
But the first one's great. The first one's great. That was fantastic. I think you would like it. Because
I'll add it to my list. In fact, going on the wish list right now. With that being said, I'll say because we talk about Gears of War and how that fell off for me, and I was a huge Gears of War fan. Like I read damn near all the books, played all the games. I was, like I wouldn't even want to go back to seeing those with fresh eyes again. You know what I mean? Like chasing the dragon. But something, and this might be controversial. I don't know. I know you might agree with me. Something that I would love, and I'm talking about not only like fresh eyes, no secondhand nature skills, nothing. I want to experience the Soul series, the Dark Souls, Bloodborne, all that for the very first time again. I actually would
love to experience both Bloodborne and Elden Ring for the first time again. Those more specifically.
I've never seen with both Bloodborne and Elden Ring, more so Elden Ring, gamers or just fans universally come together and be like, this is fucking truly amazing.
Yeah. Oh, no, 100%.
Like maybe since Pokemon Go, that I felt like people unified and be like, yeah, people got it's too hard, whatever the case, you have those, but I would love to experience Lindell, like the lands between, again. Like, just give it. Go ahead.
If you made me think about something, dude. Yeah, I'm thinking back to what it felt like to play Elden Ring the first time I played it, and I was like, I can go anywhere.
I want to see everything.
I was like, see that over there? I can go to it. Also, the mystique, if you will, the mystique of some of the, yeah, like you, right. Everything, like I'll say, like off rip, the most horrifying experience I think I ever had in my life, at the start of a video game was when I started up Bloodborne, and when you walk in that room and you see that big ass fucking werewolf, and it's like, am I supposed to fight that?
And you get absolutely demolished immediately.
But like now, whenever I boot up a new character of Bloodborne, I literally run right past that motherfucker, open the gate, and just keep on going. I don't even try.
I fist him to death. I don't gotta, come on, bitch, let's go.
I'm gonna throw hands with your bitch ass. But no, I will definitely say, was a Tyrone D said, do your actions even really matter in those Telltale games though? Yes, they do.
They do. Okay, yeah. So let's get this out of the way. That is a narrative that a lot of YouTubers have. We're like, oh, the ending doesn't really matter. Yeah, look, man. At the time, there's only a preset of endings you can have. You know what I'm saying? But if you really want a game that would like all your actions literally matter, play Detroit Become Human.
Oh yeah. Well, and even then, Detroit Become Human has binary choices on, like, or not binary. There's more than just one or two. But like anytime someone makes a game where you have choice, the game developer has a story to tell. And while they want you to be able to tell your story too, let's be real. At the end of the day, you're playing the game to figure out what the fuck their story is. So when people come at me with that whole like, oh, it doesn't matter because like at the end of the day, it's still going to be like a set ending. The truth of the matter is, in Detroit Become Human, that game can end a few different ways. You could either become the android equivalent of Malcolm X, or you could become the android equivalent of Martin Luther King Jr. You could become Dr. King the android.
This is the first time somebody has explained that in such a way that it makes sense, and I'm going to clip this shit, and I'm gonna play it every time somebody talks shit about these things. Like, I'm like, here, listen to this explanation.
Yeah,
this was fucking money. Good job.
Thank you.
I love you. I love you.
I'll throw you one even better, and that's just with the one character. There's the other characters too. There's some characters who can die and they don't get an ending except you. Like, case in point, was it Kara?
Yeah.
Kara, you can let Kara get straight up murked at some points in the game where like she's donezo.
No,
I think the only character that like survives is what's his name? I want to call him Cole, but that's not his name.
No, Cole is at some point they all blend together too, so I know who you're talking about though.
But the one who's like quotey fingers a cop. He's not a cop, but yeah.
Yeah. But let's not go too far. Like the game even presents you a choice. If you do the whole Android liberation path, the intro robot from the opening from the main screen asks you, "Am I free too?"
Yeah.
And if you say yes, she disappears. You never see her again.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. It's subtle. It's small, but it actually fucking works.
Yeah, no, I like that type of storytelling because I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, I know a lot of people feel like because the way games are marketed, you feel like, oh, I can make whatever story I want. Let me tell you something. And I'm so glad this got shut down before Baldur's Gate 3 came out. Let me be real with you. I know there were people who said that there were like 17,000 some odd different permutations of the endings you could get in Baldur's Gate 3. That's not entirely true. There are about roughly 5 or 6, maybe 7 endings to Baldur's Gate 3, and each one you can have, because there's so much stuff you can do, that there are variations of each ending. Same thing goes for Dragon Age, the very first Dragon Age game. there's different endings that you can have.
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn.
Said that. Mark is like, oh, there's 20 something endings. Like, no, bro, it's just how many people you see at the end of the like. Yeah,
it's how many people who survive the end. Like, I remember the first time I played that game, I think everyone survived except for like one character. And then I actually was able to get a playthrough where everyone survived. I did a playthrough where no one fucking made it out. The Quarry.
I hated all those damn teams. I was trying to get them all killed. I hated them.
The Quarry. That's another one where, I mean, yeah, sometimes people live, some people die. Yeah, at the end of the day, you're going to get to the end and it's going to be an ending it's just because, honestly, the whole choose your own, even if you read a choose your own adventure book, guess what happens?
There's different endings.
There's different endings, but those endings are all predicated on choices you made because, I'm sorry, but unless you want to play Gary's mod, you're not going to get what you want. You're not going to get the ending that you want. Yeah,
I gotta throw a quick flag on play. There's some blasphemy in the chat right now. Somebody said that Bloodborne is basically Castlevania under a different name, and that's just false in so many different ways.
In theme, I could make an argument for you. Like when I talk about like the aesthetics, sure.
Yeah, but that conversation, that's where the conversation started and end.
Yeah, it ends there. There is no.
Like, there's no.
Yeah, no, they're
like yeah. I can say because of the like crafty nature, maybe, or not even that, because it's more of the aesthetic of the setting. That's where the conversation about the comparison should start and end. But if you compare Castlevania, to Bloodborne, man, that's just a lie. Go play that game again. Play any Castlevania at that point. I mean.
Yeah, 100%. That is 100 and I will also say you don't have to just play Symphony of the Night. While that is my preferred Castlevania game,
still the best one.
It is objectively the best one. There is no other answer.
I wanted to love Lords of Shadows, but god damn it, they fuck it up.
I like the first one. I don't like the second one.
So real quick, and this is the only gonna be a short rant, and I have a whole retrospective video coming up on about this soon, right? Castlevania Lords of the Shadows at the time encapsulate what was wrong with gaming in that era. They did all the gaming Cardinal said, hiding the true ending in DLC, right? Having your main story, yes, because you find out at the end of the game, spoiler warning for a 20-year-old game, you find out that Gabriel Belmont turns into Dracula at the end, but
I thought that was just a regular part of the game. Because I don't.
At the end, there was a post-credit scene when you go back to do that.
I remember that. Yeah. But I don't remember having DLC for it though.
So exactly. So there's a DLC where you go back to Carmilla's castle.
Yeah.
The Asian was about to release. Gabriel in order to go into his realm to stop him from escaping, he turns into a vampire. Then he absorbs his power. That's when he becomes Dracula. That's not in the main game. Then a story that bridged the story from the first game to the second game. There's another card saying, which Kingdom Hearts is very known for, having the main storyline on a spin-off game that is not on the same console. And a lot of times people used to
it's about Mirror of Fate.
Mirror of Fate, which was the best one of the three, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That bridged the gap between what happened, like from the first one to the second one. You find out what happened to Trevor and how he became Alucard and all that shit. And then the second one, where they says fuck it and just forgo all logic and just fucked up the story, in my opinion. Right? The best part of that second one was literally DLC when you get to play as Alucard. But yeah,
I never made it that far. I played the first, I played the first one for like a couple of hours and I just couldn't stomach it. It was different from the game that came before that I couldn't do it.
But it's one of those. That's one of those games that even when I wanted to love it, even if I wanted to replay now, so I can make this video. This one of those things where not even nostalgia can say. You know what I mean? Yeah. But here's one of the here's the beauty of it. This is probably one of the situations when I say like the fan collectively came together and say like, no, we hate this. We hate Konami for it. You know what I mean? And that's okay. When you have legitimate criticism, that is okay. But when you hate the entire thing because it's not how you want it,
that
is where we dive into the ridiculous aspect of this conversation. But to your point, let me go back to Elden Ring with fresh eyes. I would love that.
Yeah, no. And you bring up Castlevania, so I would say, yeah, even Symphony of the Night. I would love to play that game for the first time ever again, because that game was a major part of my life. That game showed up at a time where I was like kind of like rediscovering, the things I used to love about video games. As a teenager, I was going back and revisiting these old IPs because I think since, well, no, I take that back. The last Castlevania game I played before that one was the Castlevania 64 game, which is awful.
Garbage.
It's
Garbage.
awful.
Trash.
Just call it what it is. But when Symphony of the Night came out, I was like, oh, this is the feeling I've been searching for. And like I said, sometimes you can obtain that high, but man, expecting it again and again and again is dangerous.
You know what was that for me? What reignited my love for game? Not like just what made me fall in love. It gave me like when I was a teenager or a kid. Was the Dark Souls series?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I played Bloodborne. Like I remember replaying Bloodborne. Like the story with me and Bloodborne. The first time I played it, I hated it because I was streaming it, right? And one of my homies told me, like, you're playing it wrong. And once that clicked for me, fucking played it, loved it. I was like, holy shit. Then I became an addict. I played Dark Souls 1, 2, 3. I played like every Souls-like game at the time that you could imagine. And that high, that sense of like, I remember to this day, if you play Dark Souls 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the final DLC, the Ring City, I remember fighting Gale. The Slave Knight Gale, right? And
man.
Shit you not. The feeling, the epicness that I felt fighting this dude, right? The culmination of the series. And Gale literally became the embodiment that has housing the actual Dark Souls. It cannot, to chase that high again, like you said.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't, and we spoke about this offline, like, what other game, like from Elden Ring, the Tears of the Kingdom, what other game can how many ways the wheel could get reinvented so for you to get that fucking feeling?
Man, I actually, a game you made me think about just now, just like, it just popped in my head, and I haven't liked a game in the series ever since because they just don't make them. And that's Mega Man Legends. I remember Mega Man Legends on I'm talking like OG PlayStation 1.
Yeah, and waiting on that cliffhanger, bro.
It was so fucking good.
I devoured both of those games.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then they never did anything after that. There was nothing.
They were supposed to make a third one that was like supposed to 80% complete for the 3DS, and then they never dropped. They canceled it for no fucking reason.
Nah, garbage.
But I'm gonna tell you, I think it's like those core memories, especially when you start unlocking them, and like when it makes you go back.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like, so many times have I sat there, right, when play like games like Beyond Good and Evil, right, that became a cult classic, right, and I've been waiting for the sequel / prequel for like 15 years now, right, and I remember playing that shit and the sense of accomplishment after you finish that, you like, how can I get that again,
dude? I've been waiting for someone to make a Mega Man Legend style game again for so long, and I honestly don't think it's ever going to happen. No. It just won't. Yes, that was the 3D Mega Man game. That was that was the 3D Mega Man game. Yes.
But Capcom has been remaking stuff. You know what I mean? So real quick, and this is I think the best. This is one of the best things that come out of gaming in a while. How Capcom has made one of the most epic comebacks in gaming as a publisher producer, developers. That's
all the things. Well, because they do both. I mean, I get
they do both.
Yeah.
But Capcom was on a downward spiral for a minute, and then, bro, they hit a stride that they had and they've been killing it to the point where Capcom was like the only company that tries we're gonna remake something. I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine. If they want to remake something, I'm like, yeah, go for it. I will also say, yeah, BioWare used to be that company for me. That's another one. If I could go back and experience Knights of the Old Republic, man.
Since we're going back to Star Wars, I want to go back and experience the OG Battlefront 2.
Man, yeah, that too.
The fact that we could have had that, like when we had Battlefront 2, which was basically Battlefield but in space. Like Battlefront 2, the OG.
I would have loved that.
Worse. I love that game so much. I bought it for the PS2. I bought it for my PSP. Right?
Yeah.
And then like I remember years later, I bought a used PS2 just so I can play that game again.
Damn.
It was it was so good.
Dude, I will tell you what I have done. And I'm actually kind of glad this is a thing that's happening now because we're kind of starting to get these things back. With Sega bringing back some of these IPs as well. But I remember when Jet Set Radio Future came out for the original Xbox. Dude, I used to wear that game out so much. I actually bought a regular, not a regular Xbox, but I bought a 360. This was like a while back, like maybe a couple of years ago. But I bought a 360 just so I could
experience it,
that game again, and like trying to, and honestly, a lot of it, what it is nostalgia. Like it's that whole thing of where were you? Like what were you doing? What was the experience when
what was happening in your life?
Right. No, and that's the thing. Like I could. A lot of these things, I can go back. I can tell you exactly where I was. I can tell you exactly what I was doing. And a lot of that stuff informs why I feel the way I do about certain things. And I think, once again, nostalgia's a motherfucker. Nostalgia will have you out here. Like on that thumbnail I put up with Tyrone, you got the ashy lips. It'll have you out here on the street corner like...
On some crack.
Look, like man, y'all got any more of that Dino Crisis?
Because I know your daughter she's gonna be a cinephile, right? I can see it happening by the story you tell me.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever gotten that feeling by proxy? Because I remember when my brother, right, when Freddie was 10, 11 years old, he had a 3DS, and I let him hold my Ocarina of Time, and he was like, "Yo, I don't know how you played this game like so many times, finish it like it's not even all that." I was like, "Bro, trust me, play it." And I remember seeing him, his eyes widening as he's. The first time he entered the Temple of Time, and then when he goes back to it, and Link becomes an adult, and everything, and him texting me super excited afterwards, like, "Yo, bro, I just made it out of the Shadow Temple." You know what I mean? Like, I remember getting that feeling by proxy. Has that happened to you?
It does, because I remember, we were talking about Elden Ring earlier. My daughter, she watched me play Elden Ring a lot, and I remember one day she was like, "I wish I could play games like Elden Ring." And I was like, "You know what?" I said, "Take a shot." And, she kind of looked at me. I was like, "Hey," I said, "I don't think there's really anything here that's just absolutely, going to be devastating to your psyche as a child," because I was like, "You're a well-developed kid. You know the difference between reality and fantasy. You know that like, this is just make-believe. So here." And, she sucked at it, but she did better than I think some people do who've never played like a Soulsborne style game before. And she loved it. I mean, now she doesn't have as much of an interest in it now, but I think that's just largely because like she kind of knew she hit a skill ceiling on it. And that, it's one of those at that age, like, she doesn't have that personality where if something's like incredibly difficult that she's gonna like just keep at it until she eventually like just breaks through. She doesn't really have that kind of mentality, at least not yet. But like, seeing some of the games that she plays, some of the stuff that she loves, the things that she's fallen in love with, not even just in video games, but like with I remember when she discovered her love for certain Disney movies, and then for certain TV shows and movies. The day that she discovered she loved The Labyrinth, the day that she discovered that she was very into like Spider-Man and stuff like that.
I'm getting emotional, right? Because like this is bringing me back memory. Same thing with my brother, man. Like when I got him into, but like I remember he saw to this story. It's one of my favorite stories that me and him share. Is that I remember in the process of me getting my one of my best friends into Metal Gear, right? I remember we did like a whole marathon. We were playing we started with Metal Gear: The Twin Snakes, right? Which is the GameCube remake of the first one, right? And
I would love to replay that again.
I would love to too. Like the entirety of the Metal Gear series. I would love to go at it again with fresh eyes, right? And I remember me, like my brother, like he, like later he became a huge Metal Gear fan, right? Unbeknownst to me, he used to hit me up asking me all these questions, all these things, right? And then one day I asked him like, "Yo, bro, when did this happen?" Because I mean, I'm loving it, but like I'm like proud. He goes like, remember that one time you and just said we're playing Metal Gear and stuff like that? I remember looking at it, like not understanding what's going on because I think he was like 10. And then like afterwards, he I left my Wii in the game. He like, I'm gonna play it, and he played it and he loved it. And then so because of that, because we became huge Metal Gear fans, right? I remember like when I got Metal Gear 5, we played it to get like when I got home from work and he got home from school, the first thing we did is play it together. And then every so often, right? Every couple of months, me and him will get together to this day and do a full Metal Gear marathon from beginning to end. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I dust out the old PS3 to play Metal Gear 4. Like it's one of those things because of it, and it's one and I love to watch him go through that because it reminded me of me when I was going through those feelings. And I think that, you know what, almost to the side because I know the title. We can go back to it, but I think that's the beauty of some fandoms. You know what I mean? It literally brings people closer.
Well, yeah, no, I think when people allow themselves, and that's kind of like you kind of getting back to the core point of it, like I think when you allow yourself to enjoy something, like where you don't treat everything like you're holding it under a microscope or like a magnifying glass trying to find the flaws. Like I feel like, yeah, there are a lot of things in this world that I have discovered I truly enjoy. That's why I always find it interesting when people use terms like guilty pleasures, or when people say, "What? You really like this?" Like I'm like, man, yeah. It's like, is it that inconceivable that I could allow myself to enjoy something enough that I can find some happiness in it? Like there are things that I feel like maybe they aren't as bad as people initially think they are. We talked about this last week where you have people who come out and say, "Oh, this movie, this show, this game, whatever is trash," and then let a few years pass, and come back. Well, actually, it's like because maybe you weren't in the right space for that thing. Maybe it wasn't for you, or maybe you were just being too hypercritical of the thing in order to give it a fair chance. But I feel like whenever I sit down, if I give a piece of media, doesn't matter what type it is, if I give it a fair shake, I have come to find 9 times out of 10, I usually end up really having a good time. I have fun with it. And if I don't, then, well, I just don't. But
can't force it either.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, you can't force it. Like, and it's like when I always tell folks that, like, they make it seem like, oh, like someone's holding a gun to your head to have fun. It's like, no, you're allowed to not like something. You're allowed to criticize something, but I don't. Yeah, I don't. But I don't think you're being genuine if you go into something ready to scrutinize it, like just off rip, like you're coming into it prepared to not like it, because guess what's gonna happen? Yeah, sure. There have been times I've gone into something thinking I probably wasn't gonna enjoy myself, and I end up really liking it, but when I go into something thinking that I'm not going to like it, it's a high chance I'm probably going to come out of it not liking it because I've kind of already set myself up for it. And I think that it's that way for a lot of other people. But I definitely... Yeah.
Another core memory unlocked, and I'm sorry, this is the last one, I promise. But also, I'm sorry.
No more core memories for Cypher. You get nothing.
Yo, facts, because right now I'm acting like a fucking Xbox achievement, because I was over here thinking about like somebody mentioned like a remake of Splinter Cells and Siphon Filter, and I'm like, you know what, a game I loved and then people hated, Splinter Cell Conviction, and that was when Sam Fisher became John Wick before John Wick was a thing, and people hated it, and I can see why, but I was like,
it was because it changed.
It changed, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, oh, where's the stealth? And I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, bro, like there's a lot of stealth. Like nobody can ring the alarms if they're all dead. I'm playing that game right. Shut up.
I mean, that's actually what a stealth game is for me. Is that it's not that I got through without anyone seeing me. it said everyone's dead by the time I get to the end of the mission.
So they didn't see you.
that is what it is. I mean, and here, you know what? Here's the thing I'll tell people too, because I saw someone bring it up in the chat, talking about the Marvels haters. The thing about the Marvels, and just because it came out on VOD the other day, and I actually sat down. My daughter had already seen it; she loved it when I took her to go see it. But you know, she's a kid, so whatever. But when I sat down, watched it with my wife, she loved it. She didn't find anything wrong with the movie. I mean, if there was any one thing that, you know, she was completely and totally like thrown by, is that why people hated it so much. Like, she was like, this movie's like inoffensive. Like, it's not like she's like,
it did what it's supposed to do. That's how I see things.
I was like,
it wasn't targeted for me.
Yeah, well, and it's because I thought about it. I was like, dude, how many movies, how many bro movies we've gotten where it's like 3 dudes, 2 dudes. Hell, we get the Expendables where it's like 80 dudes. Yeah, nobody says shit, but when like 3 women get together, like, nope,
can't do it. Ain't unrealistic.
It's woke.
Ooh, it's so woke. But like, I was about to say the extent. I was like, it's a bunch of dudes, like middle-aged men at that, right? Oiled up, muscly. You know what I mean?
Hyper masculine.
Taking down entire nations, right? Nah,
while spitting one-liners, like just like
the whole movie was hell. Chuck Norris's character was. Do you know your memes? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Wait. Yeah. Was it? Hey, Chuck, say the part.
I do. How many pushes can you do? All of them.
All of them. But no, we like. Or I'll give you. You know, throughout the 80s, how many male machismo, like super hyper masculine, like over testosterone action movies did we get in the 80s and the 90s and the early aughts, where like it's like, dude, y'all are acting like we don't make these movies anymore. We still do.
You know what movie in the 80s/90s movie deserves more love and hate at the same time, and there's a weird combination of both? The Escape from New York / Escape from LA movies.
Yeah, I was actually just watching those the other day. I was actually literally, no bullshit, I was literally watching both of these movies yesterday.
They deserve so much love and the equal amount of hate.
Yeah, I was like
Snake Plissken.
Yeah, well, it's because it's so over the top. Like, it is John Carpenter, so I'm just kind of like, of course he's gonna do that. Yeah, duh. But like,
Hideo Kojima saw it. It's like Metal Gear.
He's like, yeah, I want that.
I want him.
He's like, what's your name? Iroquois Pliskin. It's like,
which, fun fact, that was Snake as alias in Metal Gear 2 when he was on the cover.
Yeah, no.
It was actually
exactly. No, that's what I was talking about. I was actually I was like, okay, it's clear Hideo Kojima watched Escape from New York at least once, at least 20 times. Okay, all right, we get it.
Hey, I'm gonna give Kojima props because he uses his platform to meet people he wants to hang out with. It's like, hey, man, I want to be cool with Norman Reedus. Hey, man, that game got canceled. Look, man, I'll put you on a game.
He's like, I got you. Will you please come to my house and hang out with me, please?
Bro, my man Jordan Peele?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, come on.
Like, I'm working with Hideo Kojima. It's like, some Twitter shit's gonna come out, but like, who hit up who? I can see Hideo Kojima's like, I want to be these people's friends.
Oh no, 100%. Like, let's be real. Let's not sit here and pretend like Hideo Kojima has not been angling to make a movie since like 5 ever, and he now finally gets to technically make one.
Well, fun fact, he actually wanted, like, Kojima is by definition a true cinephile.
Oh, no, 100%.
That's all he wanted to do. He wanted to make movies he loved. And because of the culture of Japan, you know what I mean, they basically told him it's not possible. Then he got into the video game industry. And he says, like, when he found the fact that I can make what he called interactive movies, that's when he found his niche. Like, and I think that's why Kojima is such a quote unquote rock star in the game industry, because he literally followed his dream through a different medium and made it work. Something that was unheard of. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
no,
Because
it was like early days anime.
yeah,
It was like early days anime. Because a lot of people don't know this. The reason why anime exists is because in Japan, they didn't have the money to make the types of movies that like we made over here in the States. So what they did was, well, we'll just animate it. Thus, anime becomes the medium that it is today because yeah. Now they're working in reverse. Now they're trying to make the animes live action.
But you know what though? Like from a fandom perspective though, I gotta give, that's why like I give that man as much props and I hold him in such a high esteem, put him in this pedestal because this man followed his dreams. When they told him no, he found another way to convert his dreams. And then as a true, because like Kojima is a fan of 80s like action movies. Kojima and he puts that inspiration in his game. Kojima is a fan of 80s and 70s rock music. And like my man made you a whole playlist in Metal Gear 5. Like, hey, bro, you want to listen to this old school music on
hey,
this?
check this out. I mean, not only that, you know, he is. If you ever listen to, he has like a podcast or something where he talks about stuff. If you ever listen to it, it's very revealing. If it wasn't obvious before, but like, yeah, it becomes incredibly revealing if you don't already know. But yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. On that, let's see, where are we at on? Oh wow, we're actually on 2 hours. We're on 2 hours. Wow. See, because it just flows. It just flows
like,
by.
It's natural when you do with the homies.
Right. It's like, yeah, man, check this out. I guess, you know what? I think, do you have anything else before we run up out of here?
Honestly, though, like I think we touched everything. We hit every point, and at this point, it's just gonna be you and I just keep unlocking core memories, and then filling our Steam wish list with a bunch of nostalgia-fueled games.
Look, look, just know that whenever there's a game that I love and I find out it's being remade, I'm usually the guy that's going to be, unless it's a game that literally came out not very long ago, I'm usually going to be the guy that's like, I'll be there.
And I'll talk shit to guys. Like, they're remaking this shit again and charging me $70 credit. I'll put it in the bag, receive the back. This is bullshit, man. and I'll still play it because I like and when I say like games that literally just came out, I'm more referring to games like The Last of Us. Like, oh, we're gonna remake The Last of Us, a game that literally isn't even that old. But it's like, the game literally just came out, y'all. Are we really doing this already? Like, no, but for me, if it's a game like, case in point, like the Resident Evil remakes, the Yakuza Kiwamis, the Like a Dragon Ishin, and so on and so forth. Games that like they're old enough that like remaking them now, it makes sense. Those are the games I'm perfectly okay with being remade. But games that like came out like 2 years ago, 4 years ago, I'm like, all right, look, calm down. Like,
calm down.
Tone it the fuck down, because what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know what though? Which I actually, and the last closing thoughts I have when it comes down to the subject, and this is for any medium, like movies, not so much comics, because they really don't do this as often, at least not that I'm aware of, but games, when it comes down to remakes, they need to give the fans what they want. Right, because there's so many other IPs. Like somebody mentioned Dino Crisis. Like you mentioned the Mega Man series, the Mega Man Legend series to be example. Hell, they can even bring back the Mega Man X series. Right, there's so many things that I feel that will give company basically the license to just print money. Right, if they take, you know what I mean, and I feel like that's why a lot of times when it comes down to these publishers and developers, well, mostly publishers, there's a disconnect between what they think is gonna make the money and what the fans want. And sometimes, bro, I feel like as fans, you know what I mean, that's why we can't let the vocal minority be as loud as they are, because we have missed out on so many great things because people believe that it's not gonna make them money, right? And sometimes it's because of us. Like, let's not forget, one of the best dungeon crawlers, the game that got me into some dungeon crawlers was the X-Men Legend series and Ultimate Alliance, right? People complain about it looked childish on Ultimate Alliance 3. Now we don't have them. I don't want to hear none of you motherfuckers in 10 years talking about that is actually great.
No. I would hate that. Like give the shit the flowers it deserves when it deserves it, because like otherwise you're not gonna get the things that you want. Bitching and moaning about the little shit as opposed to focusing on the bigger picture is always what usually leads to a lot of games getting and other medias too getting left behind. I always like to use Dread as an example. Everyone swears up and down that they wish Dread got a sequel. By Dread, I'm talking about the Judge Dredd movie. The second one, not the one with Sylvester Stallone, but the one with Carl Urban.
The one that came out in the 20.
It was like late aughts or early teens or whatever. I forget exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that movie was amazing. But people didn't give it a chance because they just assumed it would be as bad as the one with Sylvester Stallone, or they just, for whatever reason, forgot it came out. There are a lot of other reasons. But the thing is, the movie was great. And by the time people finally decided to give it a chance, the studios had already decided, well, you guys don't want this, so moving on. Moving on.
By the way, that analogy, that whole spiel that you just gave is also a perfect example why you should definitely like this video. Right?
That's it.
If you want more of what you love, you know what I mean? Let's not complain. Like, put them likes up. You know what I'm saying? Before this gets remade with people that don't look like us.
I mean, hey,
and then y'all be complaining. I don't see nobody seeing these podcasts like 3 years later. Like, damn, that shit was great. Why'd you guys stop?
It's gonna be it's gonna be the white reboot. It's gonna be like the all white reboot. It's gonna have no. It's not gonna be nerds of culture. Yeah,
It'll be nerds of culture too. And it's just white.
It's like just a bunch of white folks.
Like the black font is gonna be white. It's gonna be nerds of culture.
Yeah, it's just it's not gonna be like Blerd minus Fear, just Chris Cypher. This is gonna be just Chris and some dude with a little fear.
There's gonna be like Nerd and Fear and and only Christopher Cypher.
Only Chris. Yeah, like this is what?
What's
going on? Who is this? But no,
that's all I got, bro.
That's all I have to. I guess I think I took us out last time, so you can go ahead and take us out on this one.
Okay, I got this. Yo, mi gente lo tigre, thank you so much for coming back to episode 8 of the Nerds of Culture. Shout out to our man Robo who wasn't here. Yeah, you know what I mean? Hopefully he'll be here next episode, but his presence was definitely missed. You guys can find me at Just Chris Cypher on YouTube and on my other socials or Cypher World for gaming content. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for everything. To my man, Blerd minus Fear, you guys know who he is. The greatest comic book creator on the platform. Don't at me. It's the fucking facts. Why would I lie to you?
Tell me why. You wouldn't lie. You wouldn't lie. I mean, I believe you. I believe you.
Exactly. And then, of course, our man Robo is Left Face. He does all the political commentary that you need. And, show us some love. We're here for it.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm going to say that for Left Face, aka Robo, for Just Chris Cypher, I am the Blerd without fear. And you know what? Got a special one today. The words of vultures, you can go to hell.